My name is Sibonginkosi Gumbo. I am 25 years old. I live in Phumula South in Bulawayo. I'm a facilitator of the Youth Advocate Zimbabwe. I educate the adolescent girls and young women on issues concerning sexual and reproductive health rights, gender-based violence. I also train them on ISALs, internal savings and lendings, and I also train them on how they should be empowered. I always taught them to be determined, resilient, empowered, age-free, mentored and safe. In my community, I want to see the adolescent girls and young women reporting their issues concerning gender-based violence, because what I understood is that many women are being violenced, but they don't actually see that it's violence. They think it's all because of love and money. And in my community, by the way, I'm a professional swimmer. In my community, I want to actually recruit many youths to come join me as we swim, because as we swim, kuyabavikela entweni eziningi, just like drug abuse, issues like peer pressure, things like that. Masisepulu, we really refresh our minds. I learned so many things. I now know how to do a podcast. I now know how to share my videos on social media like all networks. I only knew the WhatsApp and Facebook. Now I can share my videos on Twitter. I can share my videos on Instagram. And I also now know how to teach people through WhatsApp groups. I'm now a determined lady. I now know what I want. I now know what I'm doing. I now know where I'm going. And I'm really well known now in Bulawayo, all because of the Nanomedia training, because I posted this other video on pre-exposure prophylaxis and post-exposure prophylaxis. It trended so much on social media, so I'm now well known in Bulawayo. In my community, I have about 3,000 adolescent girls and young women. Since I joined the Nanomedia training, they all didn't know what a podcast is, and they thought a podcast is something difficult. It's something which needs someone who is very educated. But I then taught them that you can actually do a podcast at home using your phone. And also in my community, they didn't know that if you are not educated, you can actually post your videos on Twitter, Instagram. But since I joined the Nanomedia training, I now taught them they can actually share their videos on all social media networks. Some of them didn't know how to open accounts, Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, Instagram accounts. I now taught them on how to open those accounts. And also some didn't know that you can actually teach others through a WhatsApp group, and I also taught them on how they can teach others on WhatsApp group. They can now do it. I want to start my Yield program in my community. I want to have my Yield club. I also want to, in my community, I want to have a swimming club. I want to have GPV club. I want to have sexual reproductive health rights club. I think if we have those clubs, it's actually easy for us to reach other adolescent girls and young women in my community, because we are so many.